Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I am Tina. Today I'm doing a book review of The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. This is a book from 2021 from Tor. It's a fantasy novel. So I read this book as part of the Dessertathon. This is getting me the ingredient salt for reading a tearjerker. My friend who loaned this book to me said it was a tearjerker, or at least, said it could potentially be a tearjerker for me. Did I cry? No, but I still think it counts. House in the Cerulean Sea is a predictable fantasy with an obvious message, but it is nonetheless a wonderful and charming story of acceptance and found family that is an addictive read. I absolutely loved it and I couldn't put it down. If I gave stars on this channel, it would be getting 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. So what is it about? Linus Baker is a by-the-book caseworker in the department in charge of magical youth. At 40, he lives in a tiny house with a devious cat and his old records for company, but his quiet life is about to change. Linus is summoned by extremely upper management and given a curious and highly classified assignment. Travel to an orphanage on a distant island and determine whether 6 dangerous magical children are so dangerous, in fact, that they're likely to bring about the end of days. When Linus arrives at that strangest of islands, he's greeted by a series of mysterious figures, the greatest mystery of which is Arthur Parnassus, the master of the orphanage. As Linus and Arthur grow closer, Linus discovers the master would do anything to keep the children safe, even if it means the world has to burn. Or worse, his secret comes to light. So, does that explain a lot? Kind of. If I had to teach a writing class, I'd use this book as an example of a perfect setup for a novel. We get introduced to a character, Linus, who is a good balance of quirky and relatable, and a simple world building that's easy to understand while also being a mild critique of our real systems. The pacing is also very well done in the book. Everything in the story takes the perfect amount of time. Linus is at his insufferable job and boring home life just long enough, and the time at the orphanage moves at a reasonable pace for what happens in the story. The story itself is rather obvious. You know what the story is trying to say. It's a blatant critique of bigotry, the othering of difference, and fear of the unknown, as well as how children in state-run care are sometimes mistreated. And you kind of expect the trajectory of the plot, but that doesn't matter at all. It's less about the plot itself than the people in it. It's such a fun book. The characters are fantastic. Their magical powers are so interesting, but they're not overdone. The kids are cute and funny and odd. They're instantly endearing, and unlike a lot of books with kids with powers, they're not defined by their powers. While the story is focused more on Linus, we do learn a lot about the kids, and they are so sweet. Lucy, the Antichrist child, he was my favorite. The stuff he says was absolutely amazing and hilarious. The only character that didn't really work for me, he was fine, but Arthur, the master of the house, just fell a bit flat to me. There was nothing about him that was exciting to me. Yet the love story is fantastically slow burn and adorable. The novel doesn't spend a great deal of time on showing them one-on-one, but when they are together, it's clear they have shared interest and attraction. The normalization of queerness in the novel also seemed to reiterate even more the idea behind the story, as you could easily see how magic was a stand-in for LGBTQ plus identities in the world, and by making queer relationships acceptable but magic not, it was like they were deliberately making the connection between the two. The novel is also very funny. It's less laugh-out-loud humorous than make-you-smile kind of humor, with the way the kids initially treat Linus and the crazy stuff that Lucy says, but I enjoyed every minute I spent reading it. It was so fun. Overall, as I said, while the message is rather didactic and the plot follows as you expect, I think that's part of the charm of the novel. The book is like a warm blanket. It's supposed to enwrap you in good feelings, and I was totally here for it. It's like when I'm sick and how, there's a few comfort movies I like to watch because there's nothing particularly distressing, but it's not like a kid's movie. If you need to know, these movies are Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility, and the 90s Little Women. If you like fantasy novels where magic is a rare quality, slow burn love stories with people in their 40s, and the movie The Omen, I highly suggest you bend to the hype and pick up The House in the Cerulean Sea because honestly, guys, it is really, really good. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. And if you've read this book, let me know in the comments if you liked it. If you didn't like it, that's cool too. And thanks.